Everybody! So, let's talk a little bit more about Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Season 3. If you see my previous, more traditional review of that season, you know that I'm very impressed with the world building this season had. I mean, with the apocalypse technically being averted in last season, it kind of makes sense that it would follow the consequences of how that apocalypse was averted and what those consequences mean for the world at large, which introduced pagan gods, a little bit of a talk about eldritch terrors, which makes me think of Cthulhu. Wait, are they going to do Cthulhu? No, I'm getting distracted. Anyway, all in all, world building has been very interesting in this third season of the show. However, this reminds me that sooner rather than later, they're probably going to have to introduce a very certain character. This character will usually show up in one way or another in various different supernatural themed shows. He has been cast for the final season of Lucifer, he has been the final season of Preacher, and he has had a pretty big role in the show Supernatural, which means that a certain character is going to have to pop up sooner or later. No, not you, Quachi. Sit your ass back down. I'm talking about God. Yeah, that's right. A lot of supernatural shows will have to, in one way or another, address the existence of God himself or herself, depending what portrayal the show wants to do. And while a lot of world building has been explored in the third season of Chilling Adventures, heaven really hasn't had much of an addressment. That's not a word. But in season 2, we have a few minor angels pop up for an episode, which weirdly enough got a form of follow up in season 3. And heaven has been vaguely referenced in season 3. And spoilers for those who haven't seen the ending of season 3 yet. But in season 3, during the beginning of the finale, it was shown that in the original timeline, angels of heaven did come down and ransack hell, leaving it empty. So obviously, heaven very much it is in existence with angels, which means there is a God. But what role does he have in this kind of a universe, in this kind of show's world? I mean, many different TV shows and movies have had different interpretations of what their version of God is. Now, I have not seen Preacher and I have not seen Lucifer, but I am watching Supernatural, and it is a very interesting kind of take on God in that show's universe. Not sure if that will be the same direction this show might end up going, but it does remind me that there are a lot of different and interesting interpretations of God in supernatural shows and movies. Although, weirdly enough, I don't think I've ever heard of a betrayal that's really made a group of people really protest it. I mean, I'm sure there are probably people that have criticisms of certain portrayals of God, but not so significant where I've heard of it. Actually, that could be a very interesting way of how this show ultimately comes to an end. By introducing God and by showing that with his existence and with him actually taking an active role sometime in the show's potential future, it could refocus and reshape the narrative of the entire show of hell, Lucifer, and witches itself by dropping some very interesting revelations. Again, this is me just speculating with my own thoughts. I have no idea if the show ever plans to actually show their God or what their plans are for heaven or angels in the future. I mean, we're lucky enough that there is going to be a season 4 for sure. It's filmed back to back with season 3, so that is going to come up soon. But as long as the show doesn't get canceled in the near future, the inclusion of God is an inevitability. And with that inevitable inclusion, it could have some pretty big consequences of like how the show could potentially be viewed now in regards to how it is being seen now. The point is the inclusion of God, which seems to be more inevitable, seeing where the show is going. that it could reshape how we see the events and story of the show we have seen this far. That's just something I wanted to bring up. So, comment down below your thoughts. What's your favorite version of God in TV or movies? Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys next time.